Hello, checking in with the first 10 chapters of Lady Anna by Anthony Trollope, a 1874 novel that apparently Trollope wrote in the 2 months it took to sail from Liverpool to Sydney. So there's somebody who took advantage of his travel and, man, wrote probably well more than 50,000 words per month. That's something. That's something as somebody who is struggling through NaNoWriMo, though also has a full-time job and many other things to do. So, you know, there is that as well. So, with Lady Anna, it starts out with her mother, Josephine Murray, marrying a older Earl Lovell, who turns out to be not only older, and she is bearing for ambition, but he's basically a complete fuckhead. He marries her, he gets her pregnant, and then he informs her, like, "Oh, actually, you're just my mistress. I have my an actual wife in Italy. Bye," and takes off for the continent, and is indeed gone for 20 years. During that 20 years, she fights various battles to try and get him to acknowledge that no, she is actually his wife. He never does. He comes back to England after those 20 years, with a woman, and yet another woman. He is that kind of asshole. He dies intestate. The Italian woman does end up leaving. They trying to kind of come to a compromise where, like, they try and basically pay off both of the women to go away, but both women have to actually agree to it. Josephine refuses, so it falls through. The Italian woman leaves in a huff. Basically because he's died intestate, there is a good question as to exactly who is going to get his fortune. His actual estate, which is apparently a pretty poor estate, only basically gets 1,000 a year. It's basically more of a burden than it is a plum for a distant cousin, Frederick Lovell. Becomes the new Earl, but there's a question of, like, his personal fortune didn't go with the estate, and if indeed Lady Anna is Lady Anna, then she is entitled to all that money, and he would it would basically ruin the Lovell family. His lawyers kind of come to the realization that we have a weak case, and that actually Lady Anna probably is indeed the old fuckhead's, now dead fuckhead's daughter. So they suggest a compromise, which is, hey, marry her. That unites the fortune with the estate. She and her mother get what they want. They get acknowledgement. You get what you want, which is, not a complete shit show of a burden of just the estate. You also have the money to be able to run and, be the head of the family. And the young lord is like, okay, yeah, that sounds like it's good. I want to meet her, but I also want to do right by her. He's actually seems to be a pretty decent guy. On the other side, there's a lawyer, sergeant there, who's just like, no, we fight them all, we will beat them all, and rah, 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 rah. But the lady, the Countess Lovell, has been her only friend in all of this has been a tailor, a radical tailor. This is set in the 1930s, I guess. Apparently, during the kind of the reform bills where political feelings are very high, and the radicals are basically considered by the Tories scum, and the Whigs are sort of a little bit in between, so the Tories basically think they're traitors as well. But yeah, he's a radical, he is definitely radical. He enjoyed basically fighting with this Earl to begin with. He actually even knocked him down at a point, which apparently kind of caused the old bastard to make sure that his young daughter Lady Anna was going to get nothing from any wills that he actually produced. But he, in the end, it was intestate at the end, so it doesn't matter. He's been their only friend. So Lady Anna has grown up with him and his son, who's also grown up at the same time as children, Daniel. And it's Thwaite. It's Daniel Thwaite is the son, and they've fallen in love. And this is apparently the part of this novel that is actually that is the shocking part. It isn't the really crappy fuckhead Earl who's banging women and then leaving them in the lurch and just being a complete devil. No, it's the fact that Lady Anna would dare love a tailor's son, someone who is completely beneath her. This is anarchy writ large, apparently, especially to the more conservative parts of English society, viewing this novel and finding it very shocking that way. And maybe I'm quite sure exactly. I don't think this is just like the hardcore fringe. I think this is like kind of just middle of the road conservative society of the time. Tory society of the time. And Trollope just loves talking about money and lawyers and entailments and stuff like that, and bigamy and things. So it's all probably very sordid to those Victorians. And she is like, when they come to her to say to Lady Anna, and say like, you should marry this guy. She's like, no, I couldn't marry him. And it's like, why couldn't you marry him? No reason, because she doesn't want to admit that she is indeed given herself, been dominated by, he has apparently mastered her. So there's definitely he is a rough, rude fellow who has sort of, overwhelmed her with his masculinity, not in a sexual assault sense way, but just in a he is hers now, apparently. And indeed, the final chapter in this thing, the Lord Lovell comes to them, and they get left alone, and his mother's like, you got to do this. If you screw this up at this very point, if you refuse him, you've destroyed all my dreams, everything I have been working for. And she's like, I don't really care about position. And she's like, fuck, this is all I've been working for. But he's like, well, could you love me? It's like, no. Well, we're cousins. We should love each other as like, as best as like, as a brother and a sister. It's like, oh, I can love you as a brother, but maybe more. Oh, never more. It's like, oh God. So she's timidly but very firmly kind of saying, nope, I'm not going to be with you, which I'm assuming is going to cause the trouble, the drama of the novel. So yes, that is the first 10 chapters of Lady Anna by Anthony Trollope. Shocking! Whoa! Whoa! Shocking! Appalling! Whoa! Social anarchy! Whoa! Whoa! Lowering herself for some grubby lower person. I'm not very good at this stuff, since I am very much a lower person myself. All right. More videos later.